Pack your bags and get out. I need your lake house for my business retreat. That's what the HOA president told me, right there on my own front porch, flanked by 4 women I'd never seen before, all with that same look in their eyes, like this wasn't the first time they'd taken something that didn't belong to them. I remember just standing there, trying to process what she'd said, and then realizing, no, she was dead serious. She wanted me gone. Like, immediately. By Monday, she said, or you'll regret it. You ever have one of those moments where your brain can't decide whether to laugh, scream, or just shut down for maintenance? Yeah, that happened. But hang on. Let me back up a sec, because if you think this is just a story about an annoying HOA president and some power trip, buckle up. What came next flipped my whole world inside out. And if you stick around to the end, you're going to want to weigh in, because honestly, I still can't believe how it all went down. So how did I end up here? Picture this. Last Friday night, I'm at my kitchen table, surrounded by an avalanche of medical bills that would make a grown man cry. 78 grand. That's what my grandpa's cancer treatment cost before he passed, and now, somehow, it's all on me. My phone's calculator kept serving up the same ugly truth. Sell the cabin, maybe, but it still wouldn't cover what I owed. A foreclosure notice sat there beside my coffee, screaming final notice, Monday deadline, in big red letters. And honestly, I was about 2 steps away from just giving up. Oh, right, I'm Adam Stone, freelance IT consultant, which is code for I fix computers, chase invoices, and pray the power company forgets about me one more month. 3 months ago, I had a steady gig at a tech firm. Then they restructured me right out of a job. Turns out cancer bills make you a liability, not a person. Grandpa bought this cabin back in the 60s when a regular guy could still chase a piece of the American dream, and he held on to it with everything he had. Security cameras on the porch, his idea after some punk tried to break in last year. I was staring at Grandpa's old photo on the mantle, whispering one more, "I'm sorry," to the man who taught me not to back down, when the sound of expensive car doors shattered the quiet. I peeked out, and, swear to God, there was a convoy of 4 spotless Mercedes SUVs parked in my driveway, all lined up like they were planning an invasion. Leading the charge, Brittany Hill, our HOA president. Think, suburban dictator with a trophy smile and no sense of boundaries. She was rocking this ridiculous blazer embroidered with Wellington Success CEO in gold thread, strutting toward my door like she owned the place. Behind her, 2 overdressed women I wouldn't trust with a houseplant, and 2 others who just looked lost. "Adam," she called, not even pretending this was a friendly visit. "Pack a bag. You're leaving for the weekend." I swear, I almost laughed in her face. Who does that? Shows up unannounced, tells you to leave your own house like she's sending you on a spa retreat? She didn't bother with small talk. "My investors need an exclusive lakefront experience," she said, gesturing to her entourage like she was unveiling royalty. "It's $1 million deal, Adam. Don't be difficult." I said what anyone in my shoes would say. "Brittany, this is my home, not a hotel." And right then, the mask slipped. She shrieked, "You're losing this place Monday anyway. I know about your debt." That stopped me cold. How did she know about my finances? I'd been careful, really careful. The way she smiled, like she'd won already, made my skin crawl. One of her investors, the nervous one, whispered about just finding a hotel, but Brittany cut her off. "No, I promised them this property." She was in full meltdown mode. When I stood firm, she lost it, screeching about how I was jealous and small-minded, how she was building an empire for successful women. I could feel my hands shaking, not from fear, but from the anxiety that had been eating me alive ever since the bills started coming. I thought about Grandpa, how he'd told me, "Never let bullies win, Adam. They count on good people being too tired to fight back." So, I told her, as calm as I could, "The answer's no, Brittany. And it's gonna stay no." The look she shot me, you'd have thought I'd just slapped her. She stormed off, shouting, "You'll beg me for mercy by Monday." And something in her tone told me she wasn't just bluffing. You know what I mean? Saturday morning, I get woken up by what sounds like someone trying to beat down my front door. Not exactly the peaceful weekend I'd hoped for. It's a postal worker, delivering 4 urgent certified letters, all stamped with emergency HOA infraction. My heart just about stopped. I made coffee, tasted like pure stress, and opened the envelopes. The violations were insane. Dock extends 3 inches past regulation. Bird feeders creating environmental disruption. Window screens don't match community aesthetic standards. And my favorite, unauthorized lakefront furniture for $100 fine, daily, starting now, with a note. Property must be vacated for contractor remediation, Monday. Less than 12 hours after telling Brittany no. I get hit with emergency violations that require me to leave. Please. I called my brother, Mike, because family's all you've got when the world goes sideways. Adam, use that brain of yours. Something stinks, he said. He was right. So I went full IT guy, zoomed in on the letters, and realized every signature from the HOA board was perfectly identical, right down to the loops. Even Janet Miller's, and she's 73, hands like a Richter scale. No way she signed that. I called her. Janet, did you sign anything for the HOA yesterday? She sounded confused. She'd been in Phoenix all week, hadn't signed anything in months. Bingo. That was it. I drove to Brittany's house in the fancy part of town. Yard full of Wellington Success, banners, and pyramid charts. Her investors were practicing testimonials out front, and it hit me. This was a full-on scam. I confronted Brittany with the letters. For a second, she panicked, but then started rattling off excuses about emergency protocols and community threats. She made me ditch my phone before talking, but my smartwatch was recording and my dash cam caught everything from outside. Never underestimate a tech guy. Right in front of her, I called the HOA secretary. Did you sign these yesterday? Nope. She hadn't been in town for weeks. Brittany started stammering about miscommunication. But then I spotted something on her patio, financial statements showing a $78,000 withdrawal from the HOA fund and a $78,000 deposit into Wellington Success, same day. The exact amount of my medical debt. Coincidence? Yeah, right. While she was on the phone, I took photos, lots of them. Then I dug deeper, searching Wellington Success online. Complaints everywhere, pyramid scheme, fake testimonials, listed in a state investigation for securities fraud. I checked out her investors. The nervous woman? Mugshot, wanted for check fraud. Another, posting about meeting her probation officer. Brittany had recruited criminals and victims alike, anyone with money to throw at her business. And suddenly, I wasn't scared anymore. I was mad. Like ice in my veins mad. I told Brittany maybe I should join her business. She perked right up, invited me inside for her sales pitch. I recorded everything. Her explaining how HOA funds were startup capital, how properties like mine were assets for community development. She bragged about bypassing approvals, showed me the bank transfers, never realizing she was handing me the rope she'd hang herself with. Then her phone rang again. She started arguing about divorce court, assets, her whole life unraveling. When she got desperate and threatening, telling me to cooperate or I'll destroy you. I knew exactly how far she'd go. She boasted about what happened to the Johnsons, neighbors who vanished after crossing her. I realized she'd been terrorizing people for years. That's when my phone buzzed. Motion alert. Security footage. Brittany's 4 associates inside my cabin, live streaming as they rearranged my grandfather's furniture, guzzling wine, setting up for a corporate event. Watching it made my blood boil. I raced back, my hands gripping the wheel so hard I thought I'd snap it in two. Walking in, I found my home turned into a conference room from hell. Brittany directed her crew like some twisted Martha Stewart, acting like I was a guest at her party. I demanded they all leave, her response. More pseudo-legal babble about emergency community asset utilization. One of the criminal women whispered, "This feels illegal." Brittany shut her down. Sacrifice for collective prosperity. The delusion was off the charts. But when they started tossing Grandpa's things around, using his recliner as a prop, something broke in me. I remembered his words, "Don't let bullies win." So I said it, quietly but firmly, "Get out." Now, the room froze. Brittany lost it completely, throwing a full-blown tantrum, screaming, throwing papers, threatening me, demanding I sign some bogus rental agreement. I told her to go ahead, call 911. She did. Claimed I was a dangerous man threatening businesswomen. But what she didn't know, I'd been recording everything. Her confessions, their illegal entry, the whole scam, uploaded automatically to the cloud. I texted my brother all the evidence, just in case. When the deputy arrived, Stone, the guy who'd seen it all, Brittany launched into her victim act. He looked around, saw the mess, the wine bottles, the folding chairs. "Sir, what's your version?" he asked. "I just played the recordings." Brittany's voice explaining how she forged signatures, embezzled funds, threatened neighbors, recruited criminals. The look on her face, priceless. Stone ran their IDs. 2 of her investors were arrested on warrants. The other 2 left like their lives depended on it. Brittany kept insisting it was a conspiracy, that she was being persecuted for her success. But the deputy wasn't buying it. He read her rights for embezzlement, fraud, filing false reports, criminal trespass. The handcuffs clicked, and that was the sweetest sound I'd heard in months. As they loaded her into the car, neighbors started pouring in. Janet Miller waving a folder of forged documents, others sharing stories of years of bullying, insane fines, intimidation. The criminals' live stream had captured the whole meltdown. Within hours, the video went viral, turning Brittany Hill into the internet's newest cautionary tale. Comments blew up. Plot twist: Karen's the real criminal. This is why HOA nightmares go viral. I mean, if you've ever had your jaw drop at HOA drama, this was peak insanity. The aftermath? Total transformation. Brittany got 15 months in jail, $78,000 restitution. Every penny she stole, paid back. Her house foreclosed. Her divorce settled with nothing left to her name. The community rebuilt. New board, new rules. All those ridiculous fines and bans tossed out overnight. My medical debt? Gone, thanks to victim compensation. Property values shot up, people started acting like neighbors again, and my grandpa's cabin finally felt like home instead of a war zone. But the universe wasn't done with its little jokes. A year later, I get a letter, no return address, just my name. Inside, Brittany's handwriting, from jail. She's pitching me on a guaranteed crypto investment opportunity, straight out of prison. Not a pyramid scheme this time, she promises. You can't make this stuff up. Now that letter's framed on my wall, next to the Community Hero Award I got for standing up to her. I tell everyone, some people never learn. It's a perfect conversation starter. In fact, Detective Clark, the one who took her down, asked to use my story to train new investigators. Even the state legislature got in on the act, passing the Brittany Hill Prevention Act, mandatory HOA audits, whistleblower protections, real oversight. I get messages all the time from people across the country, folks who finally found the guts to stand up to their own neighborhood tyrants. You want to know the real ending? This story wasn't just about taking back a cabin. It was about a whole community waking up, realizing they were stronger than the bully who'd ruled them for years. The sun set on barbecue day, neighbors laughing, kids running wild, no one worrying about excessive noise violations. I finally understood what Grandpa meant about fighting for what matters. But I'll leave you with this. Do you think people like Brittany ever really learn? Or do they just keep scheming, no matter what? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you loved seeing justice served, smash that like button, subscribe, and stick around. Because you know what? The next story might just top this one.